A not fake, but not exactly real Mox is selling for $3,000. Hasbro stock is in the toilet. But what does all this mean for regular Magic fans like you and me? Let's get into that today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. There has been some breaking news today. Hasbro stock is tanking, and according to an article on investing.com, people are a bit grim on Magic's future. Now, with this news coming out, I can guarantee that the Taco Man himself, and even my colleagues and cohorts from the May the Zoo Be With You podcast, my fellow bozos, will be approaching this from a business and financial perspective. But I figured there'd be an underrepresentation kind of discussing what this means for the average Magic fan and Magic player, which would be kind of you and me. So let's get into what happened and what this means for us normal Magic fans. Now, all of this information comes from an article on investing.com, and I will link that article in the video description, but frankly, if you don't really want to kind of weed through all that BS, I'm going to give you kind of the high bullet points right now. First and foremost, the biggest overarching theme is that Hasbro price targets are down and Hasbro stock is down. Now, what a price target is the evaluation behind the scenes from someone of what a share of a company should cost. And Hasbro was recently valued at $72. It said a share of Hasbro should cost $72. Unfortunately, after reevaluation this year, it's been determined that a share of Hasbro should actually cost $42. That's a $30 drop off. I know, quick YouTube maths right here. Per share in value. Now, that is not great news. What that means in financial terms is if someone was going to invest today in Hasbro, they would risk 30% of the value that they invest just based on the price target alone. Now, that's based on the price today that at the time of recording this video, that is subject to change. If you're watching it 3 years in the future, hi, it's kind of bumpy back here. I hope it smooths out where you are in the future. But we've seen this downgrade for a couple reasons, and this article does talk about some positives for Magic the Gathering. The first positive that I really pulled out as a Magic fan and not necessarily a Hasbro fan is that Magic's responsible for roughly 15% of Hasbro's revenue and 30% of its EBITDA. Now, EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Amortization. God, YouTube is hard. So what this means in less fancy financial talk is that Magic earns Hasbro a bunch of cash. And cash is good when you're running a business, so Hasbro wants to take care of Magic the Gathering. They like that Magic earns it a bunch of cash. And because of this, Magic is an important asset to Hasbro. Magic the Gathering is an important asset, and if they're going to be downgraded for this important asset, they are definitely incentivized to fix it. Now, real quick, there's been a couple reasons for the downgrade outlined in the article. Distributors, local game stores, players, collectors were kind of feeling and they voiced their concern about the product overload, and that's something that may affect us. We're going to get into is how it affects us as players, and they're worried about Magic's long-term brand, which might be the most important thing that affects us as players. But all this out of the way, right? We've kind of deemed that, yes, Hasbro stock is down right now. There's all these price projections, but what does that mean for you and me as people who consume and play Magic the Gathering? Well, first and foremost, I think we might have a shot at finally getting rid of a little bit of wallet fatigue. A big reason for this downgrade was outlined because we're feeling the pressure of constant spamming new products. Like I said, the prof said it best, right? New secret layer alert. There's a new product every second, and I think we have some recent examples of that that us players can really relate to. You look at Dominaria United and you look at Streets of New Capenna. In my opinion, these were two fantastic Magic the Gathering sets. They had great cards that are played across multiple formats. The limited experience was tons of fun. Thematically, it was something to chew on. It was something to really grab onto. But we didn't get enough time with them. There was just new products dropped on our head, right, one after another, and we didn't get the time to spend with these products. And because of that, we don't form that connection with this product. When we don't form that connection with this product, whether it's a strong like, even a strong dislike, a strong affinity for playing the limited format. I started playing in Mirrodin Block. I don't mean to say affinity because that gives me a little bit of Vietnam flashbacks, but you understand what I'm saying here. We don't get the chance to find the attachment to that product, and this does in fact hurt Magic's long-term value from a brand perspective, but also from our perspective as players. We won't have the opportunity to go back and experience something that we really held on to. And as players, as casual consumers of the game, when we don't hold on to these things tightly, when we don't feel that emotional connection, we are more liable to drop the game. And more people we could see exit Magic just because they don't have that connection. Now, this is not the doom and gloom. I'm already seeing in the comment section. I'm not saying this is what's going to cause people to quit or anything like that. I'm saying it's less of a tight hold. When you have that less of a tight hold, you could see some fall off. This isn't a Magic that is dead statement. So I do believe, even though Hasbro is pumping products and they're selling, and your base financial conversation on the surface will say, they're pumping products, they're all selling out, they're going to keep pumping products. Well, they've seen their first bit of repercussion from constantly pumping products, right? This price degradation it's a direct repercussion, it's a direct result from pumping out all these products. And a company cares about its stock value, so we might finally have the opportunity to look back and kind of grab hold onto some of that nostalgia, really connect with some of these sets and Magic products that are coming out, and get to enjoy them. And finally, I think the way this affects us, and maybe even bigger, in a bigger way, is that we have a chance to really kick off this era of Magic the Gathering in a unique way. I plan on talking about later this week about how the Brothers War, and more specifically serialized cards, gives people like you and like me, people that don't have giant pocketbooks and haven't been around the game since its creation in alpha, an opportunity to step into the collector world, to bling out some binder, right? A little bit of binder jewelry, and really kind of explore this option of hardcore collecting Magic the Gathering. And it's a little window, it's a crack in a window for us to maybe step into that room. And this is going to give us an opportunity to do so. When there's less products out, when, you know, if there's a drop in products, or the products become more important, right? There's a tighter pull and a tighter feel with those products, there's more incentive to collect them. You might have a bigger window to collect them. You have longer to gather the pieces. And with this happening, players like you, players like myself, have the chance to really dig our teeth into collecting some of this product. Now, again, I think there's a lot more for that conversation to go into, so I'm going to leave that in a video for later this week. If you like that, make sure you have notifications clicked on so you know when that video is dropped. But all in all, I don't think this means that Magic is dead by any stretch of the imagination. I do think, however, we are going to see some positive changes from this, and the reason is it directly affects the company's bottom line. We don't get to have it both ways, ladies and gentlemen. We can't complain that Wizards does all this because of the bottom line, and when the bottom line is, or sorry, not Wizards. Ooh, sorry, Wizards. Ooh, don't ban me. Hasbro does this all because of the bottom line, but when the bottom line is directly affected and stock starts to go down, you might hear them respond to a bit of that feedback and make a shift that's positive for you and I. But what I really want to hear is from you guys. Do you guys think that this is going to positively affect us as Magic the Gathering players? Do you think it's going to negatively affect us? Do you think Magic is dead? Do you think, how dare I talk about Magic? I should be talking about another card game. Whatever it is that you're feeling, let me know in the comments section below. I'm always interested in your thoughts. I try to respond to every single comment. Look out for those videos dropping later this week. I want to know who standard product is for. I made this comment on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I kind of got laughed off the floor, but I really think that there's something to chew on here. And then my big hitter is we have an opportunity. We have a collector's opportunity, and I'm going hard on serialized cards right now, guys. I'll get into that in the video later this week, guys. Again, thank you so much for hanging out. Whether you found me through scouring the internet, one of the old school subscribers, or from my appearance on the May the Zoo Be With You podcast, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, my name is Josh, and we'll see you around. Goodbye.